Hey, what's up? We're Life Without Pants with another Path of Exile video. In today's video, we'll talk about our transition into Magic Find. This is how you can take the Tornado Shot build we've been using, the Omni Tornado Shot build, and transition it into a Magic Find build, starting off in some easy T7 cemetery maps. This is like, you only need one Voidstone for this. It's super easy. This is what it looks like when you're, getting a lot of buffs and getting a lot of loot. So I'm going to loot this and we're going to take a look at our results from just one map. Okay, and here we are. We're done looting. I've put everything in this test tab here. This is all the stuff we got. I didn't include any of these random divination cards that we got. Obviously, because we're running cemetery, you get a lot of the union cards, and these are worth a fair bit, honestly. Gem Cutters Prisms right now are around 2.5C each, which I think is pretty crazy. So this is around 5C. Honestly, if you're running Cemetery, then you're going to get a lot of the Union cards, and it's going to sustain you until you get big drops. I didn't include any big drops in this, but you do get them very, very frequently. So Pee-wee Stack is reporting that this is 1.5 divines worth of just bubblegum currency that we found. It's a lot more than I thought it would be, but you get a lot of chaos orbs. I mean, we've got, I think there's like 50 in here. Yeah, there's 50 chaos just straight up. So many fusings, so many alterations. I think there's 400 alterations. Yeah, 406 alterations in here. There's a lot that comes out from this strategy. So let's talk about our Atlas and what we're doing. Okay, so it's a pretty basic Magic Find Wandering Path tree. We're going straight up here. We're taking all the Abyss stuff we can get. We're taking Singular Focus because we only want to drop one type of map. We're taking 7th Gate so we can use Abyss on the map device. That means we have to take all the Eldritch Gateways, which we have done. Taking Wandering Path, which doubles the effect of small nodes. So this 1% quantity of items found in your map is now 2% quantity. There's, this 2% increased quant and 10% rarity wheel in the middle here. This map modifier effect, 4% increased effect of modifiers on your non-unique maps. Taking this is the top hat. We're taking a bunch of Abyss stuff. We're taking the blue altars because I personally am going back and forth between this and another strategy that I'm working on at the moment, which requires blue altars. But if you're just doing cemeteries, we're doing T7 cemeteries, then you don't need this. And you can put these points elsewhere, maybe in some more Legion chants. But then we're just taking all the Abyss nodes up here. We're getting a little bit of chance for ritual altars. We're going for lots and lots of beyond chants. We're going for extra ritual chants, taking all the beyond nodes that we can. We can't take notables because of Wandering Path, so that's why all these look a little bit stuffed. We're getting, lots and lots of ritual chants, lots and lots of beyond chants. I'm taking Endless Tide because it just means more monsters in the maps. And then I've got down here, we're getting a little bit of extra ritual chance. So that's what our Atlas looks like. This is 129 points. So I still haven't, for some reason, I still haven't done the Elder in the Shapeless Realm. I'm going to do that today, I promise. It's Christmas Day. It's a present to myself that I will do, along with the Hidden Invitation. I promise I'll do it. Anyway, so on our Voidstones here, when you start the map, you're going to get a T7 cemetery. I have some here, I believe. T7 cemetery map, and I always put on a Deli Orb, like just one of these ones that I have around here. So just throw that on there and put currency on it. Lots and lots of money. We're taking Abyss on the map device because that's very important. We're pumping Abysses. We really, really are pumping Abysses here. We're putting a Gilded Divination Scarab in. You can put Polished or none if you want. Divination Scarab is not necessary for this. It's just great because Cemetery drops all the Brothers related cards. So you might get a nice 5-div Tink. We're taking a Polished Harbinger. You could do Rusted. You could do none if you wanted. These two are required though. So a Gilded Abyss Scarab and a Gilded Reliquary Scarab, and the reason for that is that we want as many rare monsters as possible in the map. This is the important part. We need rare monsters. Rare monsters can have their drops converted the arch nemesis conversion. So if you ever see like a big sploosh of scarabs, maybe lots of winged scarabs or lots of gilded scarabs, that's one of the conversions that work. Maybe stacks and stacks of 20 alterations. I get those a lot. That's the conversion at work. So we want to take that. We have to have a gilded reliquary scarab to get all of those rare monsters with lots and lots of unique items, so that it converts into 10,000 maps for us. Gilded abyss, gilded reliquary. These are, I would say, 100% required by this strategy. And I sustain these. It's odd to say. I'll explain that a little bit later. But these two, you can put, these are flex spots. Honestly, you could put a Legion Scarab in here if you wanted. You could put something else. Maybe you want some Cassia in there. I don't know why you do that, but maybe you do want that. We're taking Abyss on the map device, and for our Void Stones, I've got Gloom Shrine. It's a flex spot. You can take what you want here. Legion Encounter, because that gives us lots of rare monsters, and we need rare monsters. So Legion Encounter is really, really good for rare monsters. An additional Abyss is mandatory. This is what we are pumping. So Abyss is mandatory. I know it's expensive, but you just saw we walked out with 1.5 divs of this bubblegum currency. Let's say 1 divine. You're paying maybe 100 C for a map or something like that to walk in, because these cost quite a lot of money. These void stones, and not the void stones, the sextants, but it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it. And then we're taking Beyond as well. So Beyond also costs a lot of money, and it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. So these two are mandatory, the Beyond and Abyss, and then honestly these two, it's up to you what you want, but Legion I think is very, very strong. You could go with not a Gloom Shrine, you could go with something else. You could have a Mirror of Delirium instead of putting the Deadly Orbs on like I do. If you are going to go with Mirror of Delirium, then you probably want to add in Unending Nightmare, because then it doesn't dissipate, but you get lots and lots of Delirium monsters. So we want to pump lots of rare monsters and lots of Delirium. And the reason for that is that all these rare monsters that we get, they're going to drop a ton of stuff. And when we use Abyss on the map device, we're using the Gilded Abyss Scarabs, which, as you can see here, I got quite a lot of. And the reason I have quite a lot of is because I drop, loads of Shaper Scarabs and all these other kind of Scarabs. I just chuck them in here. And then I use this, and I turn them into Blight Scarabs, but I just use this. I buy occasionally, sometimes you drop a stack of Divines. I just buy some purple juice when that happens, and then you can just convert all of them. That's why I've got 112 Gilded Harbinger Scarabs. I've got 72 Gilded Abyss Scarabs. The Abyss Scarabs are expensive, and it's actually cheaper just to roll. Like I've got loads and loads of Gilded Reliquary Scarabs. It's much cheaper to roll your own from ones that you have already into something that you need. So that's the way I'm getting so many Abyss Scarabs. I think I haven't paid for any yet. I've been doing this for 4 days so far, so it's going well. I would say you can sustain. Obviously you have to pay a little bit for purple juice, but honestly it's so much cheaper. I think Gilded Abyss Scarabs are now, they're around 10, 11 for a divine. That's crazy. I'm not paying that much. I'm cheap. I'm not paying that much. Anyway, so why are we using Gilded Abyss Scarabs? Because it says here, abysses in area that do not lead to abyssal depths lead to a Stygian spire. So because of the level of the map level of Cemetery, so Cemetery normally is I think it's like tier 3 map or tier 4. Yeah, tier 4 map. Cemetery is normally a tier 4 map, but with one Void Stone in, it becomes a tier 7 map. And that means it's monster level 74. Abyssal Depths and the Lich that is always in the Abyssal Depths now can only spawn at item level 77 or higher. So this means that 100% of the time, our abysses are going to lead to a Stygian Spire. And when it does lead to a Stygian Spire, then the spire comes up at the end. So you kill a bunch of monsters from the abyss. It moves off. You kill some monsters there. It moves off somewhere else. You do that 4 or 5 times. But then once the spire gets to its last phase, it'll just start throwing out monsters. And those are technically projectiles. So you want the spire because then you can roll your maps with, as you can see here, I've got monsters fire 2 additional projectiles. This is the way we've always been pumping Abyss. And that means that instead of the Abyss or the spire throwing out 5 or 6 rare monsters, it throws out 15 or 18. And that's 18 things where we can get that conversion from. 18 opportunities for us to get big conversions. And honestly, it's crazy. I didn't include the Voidborn Reliquary Key that we dropped in our loot earlier, but you get stuff like this all the time. How have I organized or how have I changed my gear to account for this magic find stuff that we're doing? Basically, I've thrown on a couple of ventors. That's about it. Oh, and I also changed my helmet. So because when I took the ventors, then obviously I got a lot less chaos res, so I wanted to get some chaos res and make sure I had the spell suppress as well on our hat. So that's basically it. I'm thinking of, like, we're going to go full magic find later on, so I'm going to, I've got some gold worm I'm going to throw on. I'm going to have a different, I'm probably going to use this Heres here. I found this on the floor and just 6-linked it with, I don't have any fusings left now, but this is basically our setup, and eventually we're gonna, we'll get some rare gloves, and we'll probably redo our quiver as well. But this is our setup, and honestly, it's insane how gifty the whole thing is. So I got one in here. So let's just go and look at how I start the map up. I've got here my looting belt on, so we can use that. We've got Abyss on here. I would normally put Cemetery as the favorite, because these maps, cemetery maps, are going for, I think it's like 13C each. So you can just favorite Cemetery, and then if you do one tier 7 map with this many favorites, then you're gonna get a lot of maps. So I'll show you what it looks like. We're making sure we take Abyss on the map device. We've got our Gilded Reliquary, Gilded Abyss, and then our other ones here. Start it up, and then as soon as we see here that all my sextants have been used, it does this little sploosh, then we can just take these off, and that means that now tier 7 maps can drop. So we're going to go straight in, and the first thing we have to do is go into the Whooods, and that's just over here. And this is quite important for me. I always put down a portal immediately, because it's even though you don't have a mini-map, this is a way to just get a little anchor on where you are. So we know that purple is rarity, yellow is quant, and blue is just money. Purple is the best one because it also gives additional projectiles to stuff in the map. So that means that our spires could get up to four projectiles. It's really insane. But if there's no, like, I've got some yellow wisps over here that we can see, but if there's no wisps on the on your screen at all, it means you're right next to an event, so it's probably just a little bit off in the darkness. I try to follow the monsters when it comes to this, because that's, monsters give you a lot of juice. So I've already got 1,000 yellow from this. I've noticed as well, sometimes you'll get to the events and there'll be lots and lots of juice available to you. There are 2 different types of orb that you will find. I'm not sure if we're going to come across either of them, but one of them is just reveals a bigger area around it, and that's nice. But the good one is the one that doesn't appear to do anything, but what it is doing is it's giving you more light. So it's giving you more area that you can discover. I'm not super min-maxy when it comes to getting all this stuff. I will always talk to the vendors just to check, because I really want the +1 prod thing. I've had some stuff from here that's like a divine or 2. Generally, it's not worth it though. I just price check them. There's nothing. The vendors can be a little bit annoying as well, because trails can end at the vendors. So I don't think we're getting any more blue here from this direction. There's a little bit of yellow and stuff over here, but now we kind of run out of stuff. But here's some more monsters. I always go up to the edge and then try and shoot off into the darkness, because those monsters, so we're getting like 230 extra yellow juice from those. I'm going to put my belt on for the map, and then we sploof all our stuff everywhere, and then we can start killing everything. And because it's a tier 7 map, it's not as difficult, or it's not as rippy as doing, you know, burial chambers, but I've been experimenting with burial chambers a bit, and I think we're gonna move into that eventually. But so we've already dropped one cemetery map. As I said, these are fairly expensive, so you could honestly do this and just sell these maps as 10C each, these maps. So here's the abyss. I'm gonna pop this, and we're gonna follow it along, and I'll show you what I mean about the spires at the end. I'm actually gonna turn loot off because it gets a little much, to be honest. But there's a lot of mechanics in these as well, so it's really good. If you can get a headhunter, then that's great. If you can't, then I think an inspired learning is kind of mandatory for these things. Okay, and oh, we killed it too fast. So I got this little green X here. This is Stygian Vice, and that's because I killed it too early. So we dropped some cobalt jewel. So we'll try that with this one, and hopefully I can show you what I mean properly without messing it up. So this can be a little irksome to learn at the beginning. So you see, we started off, it's gone off. We've done the first phase, and then we're gonna follow it along. This Arakali, is it Arakali, the spider lady, the one that eats silk? That's a god touch thing. That's great, because that means big conversions are going to happen for us. So here's the spire, and I'm going to sort of walk away for a bit. And you see, look at this, it's just splooshing out rares. There's so many here. If we had gotten lots of purple juice, then this may have been, you know, even more rares. But each time we kill one of these, obviously I got a headhunter, so this is just like lots and lots of buffs for us. And it plays like a potato, but that's, as Cartoon Tuna says, the less frames, the more fun. And my computer is so good at giving me fun. It's a bit old. But yeah, so you got to let the spires cook for a little bit. It's tempting just to like destroy everything and try and go as fast as possible. I've noticed that by using the Gloom Shrine that I have on my Voidstone, it actually sort of bricks it a little bit, because maybe I explode the spire and all of the res around it. So watch out for that if you're doing this. But let's try this next one here. So we wander off, and I got the Shroud Walker buff, I think, where it just teleports me to rare monsters. It's one of the most annoying ones I think there is in the entire game. But now we're just gonna, I think it's probably got one more stage. And no, here's the spire. So I'm just gonna sort of wander off a little bit. I'm gonna go and just sort of stand nearby and hope it just sploofs stuff out. So here's a bunch of monsters. And now it's dead, so I can see the little green cross. So for me, that indicates that it's dead. I'm gonna hit the ritual as well. Ritual, lots and lots of monsters. You could throw in Breach as well on this if you wanted. I don't think there's enough rare monsters in Breach to justify it, to be perfectly honest. I think Breach is great, and I don't think it's the right one for this strategy, especially when you're doing Cemetery. It can be a little bit annoying. Maybe Jungle Valley Breach is a little bit better, but so this is what a map looks like. I'm going to finish this map off, and then I'm going to loot, and we'll have a look at our inventory, so you can see that the you know, the 1.5 div I got was not just some random chance. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, and we're back, and we've got two maps. You do sustain these. I find that sometimes I start off with one T7 Cemetery map. I start off with one. I got about 10 in my map stash. I think I've got one extra here. I got, you know, I was starting off doing some of these as well. I've got divination cards on these, so I should probably run these. But these are very, very easy to sustain. Pee-wee stack is telling us we've got 1.1 divines worth of just stuff. And it really, honestly, it adds up. It adds up way more than you think, especially, you know, with the chaos and the cemetery maps and that kind of stuff. Again, no big drops counted in this. I did drop a Divine Beauty and this Unending Hunger. I think this is not very expensive though. No, we got a max roll and it's still pretty bad. So let's see if we can get... Nope, we didn't get Corrupted Blight of Unity. Oh well. If it's under 20C, then I usually corrupt these. But so this is... Honestly, this map was pretty unremarkable. It was low on the scale. Maybe we'll get an apothecary. No, never mind. But this is, you know, honestly what you can look forward to from these maps. It's a lot of stuff, and honestly, most of the maintenance is selling all this bubblegum currency, because I think now alterations are like 2,600. Yeah, for a divine. I've been selling mine. I got mine all the way down to nothing, and I've got 500 of them already. I mean, you pull out around 400 per map. Honestly, like in this one, we got in just one of these maps, we got 530 alterations, which is a lot. And the more rarity you have, and the more, you know, quantity, then the better that's going to get, because that's going to upgrade to, you know, fusings or something, and there's even more expensive. I think these are like 800 for a divine or something now, 860. The things that we changed in the build, like I said, I just put a different hat on. I managed to roll rarity on it, not very much. It was more that I wanted to make up some of the resistances we were lacking because of the ventors that I'm wearing. For ventors, I think 8 or 9% quant and 30% rarity are mandatory, and anything after that is a bonus. Like 50 life is great. I picked these up off the floor because you drop a lot of them. So I have two, and they just don't have lots of cold res on them, so I put cold res on my hat. That's literally all it is. I put in a gold flask as well, so when charges like increased rarity of items found during effect. I think we're gonna invest more heavily in Magic Find. I think we're gonna go Divination Distillate. We're gonna probably, you know, roll off Omni and into something else instead. It's really interesting. I've never done Magic Find before, so this is my first time doing it, and I think it's a lot of fun. There's, you know, lots and lots of dopamine. We're farming dopamine more than anything else at the moment, but this is where we're at. Swing by the stream if you want to know more, or you have questions about this strategy. Please just drop by the stream. I'm streaming every day on Life Without Pants on Twitch, so swing by, say hi, ask away. It's a very welcoming community, and we always like to help people out with anything we know. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think I'm going to sell this Maze Blood and just stick with the Headhunter. It's Headhunter League for sure. But thanks for watching. I hope you are kind to everyone you meet. I love you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.